When I think of climbing, I think of connection. And I think of connection with the outdoor spaces that I love. I think of connection with people and community, connection directly with the rock, but also connection to my own physicality. That kind of mind-body connection, that kind of full immersion in a physical experience as well. My name's Mina. I've been a climber for over 20 years now, and we're up at Malham Cove in North Yorkshire at the moment. So I guess everyone has their own little kind of quirky routine in the morning. Faff about a bit, and then I do some yoga and stretching and some physio exercises, which are probably only kind of 20 minutes, but I do it every day, kind of quite religiously. Not kind of really intense practice, it's quite gentle, just mobility, stretching, moving my body around, warming up, and then kind of doing some rehabby stuff with it for my shoulder and various other bits and bobs. I find it really grounding to have that bit of time every day that I just go through the motions and I focus on my breath and still my mind. I can be quite a frantic person sometimes, or a bit, I overthink, I ruminate, I worry. You know, everyone has their things that they need to work on in life, and for me it's calming down a little bit sometimes. I get a bit overzealous, I have a tendency to overdo things, to overtrain, to overthink, to worry, that kind of stuff. So for me, yoga is a really grounding practice, and it helps me just kind of set up well for the day. So Malham's beautiful. It actually used to be a big waterfall. It's got this river coming into the bottom, and it's got loads of different routes, quite a range actually of grades. It gets a reputation for being a really hard crag, and I think it's kind of true. It does have a lot of hard routes. A lot of that is down to Steve McClure being a big fan of this place, sending a lot of hard stuff here. But there is also more kind of some of the lower grade routes as well. You know, if you're climbing kind of French 7A and above, there'll be stuff for you. It's limestone sport climbing, quite blocky, quite interesting movement, like quite bad footholds. So it can feel really hard until you learn to kind of move with the rock rather than against it. I think it does suit my personality because I like to problem solve, essentially. That's one of the things I love about climbing, is it's not just a physical pursuit. It's not how fast can you go in a linear direction. It's so multifaceted, there's so much to learn, and there's so many different ways to excel, or so many things to overcome in order to be good at rock climbing. The route I'm trying at the moment is called Raining Bats and Dogs, and it's actually kind of a link-up route. So there's an 8C route called Bat Route, which I did a few years ago, and then kind of next to it is Rain Shadow, which is my long-term project. And what Bats and Dogs does is it starts up Bat Route, does the crux of Bat Route, and then you get a reasonable rest, and then it traverses across and it meets Rain Shadow, and it does the head wall of Rain Shadow, and it also gets 8C, but it's considered kind of top end 8C. trying hard. There's something about going into a mental and physical place right up near your edge of your ability, which is really exhilarating, and it gives me a real buzz, and I really like that. I like taking something, working it out, breaking something down into bite-sized chunks, if you like, and then putting it back together to make a whole, and something that feels really impossible at the beginning can come together.
Come on.
I think hard red pointing it's finding a balance between caring enough, putting in the work, having a routine, trying hard, doing everything, lining everything up so that you can perform at your absolute best, but also at the same time not caring too much, having that perspective of knowing that it's just a piece of rock, that it's not going anywhere, that at the end of the day, if I never get to the top, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't define me as a person. Nothing's really changed. And I think having that relaxed approach in the background is really helpful, but I actually do find it quite a challenge to balance those two things, because if you don't care enough, you won't do all the things that are necessary to perform well. But if you focus too much on performing well, it gets too stressful, it loses its fun, and then really what's the point?